It is Tuesday, the 18th day of March here, and we continue to have a very, very chilly setup. We've had another little winter weather event affect parts of the region, and that's what we're going to spend the lion's share of the time in today's video discussing. And let's start off with a look from the Greensboro Tower camera, and when the camera is pointed in the north and east direction, it is iced over. And we have a lot of ice on elevated surfaces and even a lot of the regular roadways in some instances up around the Triad. There's the reason rather. It is 28 degrees at the PTI airport and it's still a stiff north-northeast wind, making the wind chill 18 right now in Greensboro. It is now, actually I want to show you this first. These are the temperatures from 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Keep in mind it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday. So this is mid-March, and we had a 3 p.m. temperature of 30 in Greensboro, 33 in Raleigh, 34 in Charlotte, 37 in Fayetteville, even 42 in Wilmington, and 41 in Columbia is pretty impressive. Certainly not your typical March day. And I tell you what, this precipitation yesterday, this is the radar loop through the day yesterday, it really overperformed above most models' expectations as yesterday unfolded. And that was one of the reasons temperatures were held down more than expected. And so due to the heavier rates of precipitation yesterday, instead of just having some light freezing rain and freezing drizzle, sure, you did have some freezing rain around the Triad area, but you also had some sleet and even some snow from time to time as the really heavy precipitation rates helped to bring down some colder air from aloft. And even though you had a very pronounced warm nose aloft, there was enough instability there to generate some sleet and even some snow from time to time. Certainly an interesting weather day, and just goes to show you the weather always seems to have some surprises up its sleeve. Winter weather advisory in effect this morning. And that is for most of the region. The reason, not really for any additional significant precip, although there is some lingering freezing drizzle this morning. The reason is icy spots on roads. Now, when you get down toward the Charlotte region, it's just the chance primarily of some icy spots, mainly on bridges and overpasses, but use caution. The roads are in much worse shape as you get up toward the Triad region and the northern foothills. That's where you have ice even on some of the main roadways that aren't bridges and overpasses. And so not the greatest of mornings to be going through the morning routine. There's your temperatures just prior to 5 a.m., sub-freezing in much of the region. Now, temperatures will very slowly climb today, but it is going to be a slow process. There's your current winds, and then here are your wind chills this morning. That's cold for mid-March. That's cold any time of year, but that's certainly cold this time of year with wind chills in the teens and 20s across the region. The radar, again, most of the measurable precipitation has exited the areas where temperatures are sub-freezing, but still some heavy rain offshore, even some thunder and lightning just off the South Carolina coast there, and some thunderstorms rumbling down through parts of Florida, even a severe thunderstorm warning there near the Atlantic coast of Florida at the time I'm cutting this video this morning. Now, here's the setup for us today. Low pressure offshore, slowly pulling away. But that easterly flow and northeasterly flow off of the Atlantic is going to be pretty stubborn today. So I think the clouds are going to hang tough through the majority of the day. So let me zoom in and we'll show you the high resolution modeling for today. And you'll notice the clouds pretty stubborn here as today unfolds. Maybe even a little bit of light rain or drizzle working in this afternoon. Now, in terms of temperatures, that makes for a very challenging temperature forecast. This wedge, very stubborn. But I do think we'll see temperatures slowly climb above freezing as we get deeper into the day. By this afternoon, we should be above freezing area-wide, and sooner, of course, in some spots. But should see certainly some improvement in terms of the road conditions as we get into this afternoon. And then tomorrow, we're going to see a lot of clouds around as our next cold front approaches. Let me show you what that looks like. This next cold front... yes, it is a cold front, but what it's actually going to do is end up warming us up. It'll scour out all this lingering moisture left behind by these low pressure areas in this wedge, and the result will be as high pressure builds in for Thursday and Friday, much, much milder weather with highs pushing well into the 60s. Some of us could even hit 70 or so Friday afternoon before we get into the weekend. All right, let me discuss some of the more detailed modeling with you. There's the European upper air chart for today. There goes our departing disturbance. Here comes the next one diving in by 60 hours. That's Thursday morning. That piece of energy moving off to the north, but that will have driven the cold front through here and we're in good shape Thursday, Friday, and then we get our next little disturbance moving through Saturday. Now, the European is much weaker with that disturbance now than some of its previous runs, and weaker than the GFS as well. I'll show you that in just a second. And then you go out to 180 hours. That's Tuesday of next week. That's when we have the next little potential system moving in. Now, in terms of what it looks like at the surface, here we are as we get on into Wednesday, tomorrow. I think a lot of clouds, probably some drizzle around, especially in the morning. But then by Thursday, we're in great shape. Thursday, Friday both look like fantastic weather days. Over the weekend, nothing on the European, but I'll show you the GFS in just a second. But there's the European solution for Tuesday. Now let's compare that to the GFS for Tuesday. Much wetter scenario, and the Canadian kind of agrees with the GFS scenario, and it's cold enough that there might be some winter weather concerns somewhere across the region Tuesday morning, if indeed we do get the precipitation in here. So, winter not over, and certainly we're not done with the cold air. We'll see about the winter precip, but certainly I don't think the cold air is finished. Now, let's go back to Saturday very quickly. The GFS still does bring a quick-hitting shower chance through on Saturday. Now, one more thing to show you here. As you look at the day 8 to 10 average, this is the European on the left, GFS in the center, the Canadian on the right. And so this would basically be the average of the upper level pattern for mid to late next work week. And that is not a warm look at all over the eastern part of the country. And just a snapshot here from the European operational. There's your 850 millibar temperatures Wednesday. That's very, very cold air. I mean, this is brutally cold for mid-March over the Great Lakes, the plains, and the Northeast, and we're on the fringes of that. So, yeah, we are not done with winter as of yet. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.